Hello everyone and welcome to... what? Well, this looks like a great start. Anyway, as I was saying, welcome to... Wait, what the... Why is my crosshair on the... not centered? It's like on... like up and to the left. What the fuck? Also my mouse is moving kinda slowly. Just give me a second here, I'll put it a bit faster. What? Are you shitting me? I've literally played the game for less than 2 minutes and it crashes already? What the fuck? Okay, well, to be honest, that's the only crash that I experienced during the game, but talk about bad timing. Anyway, as I've tried to say, welcome to Wilson Chronicles. Now, you're probably asking, what the heck is Wilson Chronicles? Well, it's a modification for Half-Life 2 in which you re-experience the events of Half-Life 1 as Major Darren Wilson. So basically you're one of the military people that's employed at the Black Mesa research facility. As I said, this is a modification for Half-Life 2, so you can download this mod for free from Steam as long as you own Half-Life 2. And the mod is being developed by what appears to be a French team. I don't try to pronounce that name because my French isn't that great. Pardon moi. But it appears that the mod has been developed for quite a while. I even read that it's been developed for 8 years. So that's quite a commitment from the team. Unfortunately, despite this very long-term effort, the mod still suffers from some very great problems. Most of them have to do with level design and lack of story. This is still in beta, so there's bugs, but well, that was to be expected, so I don't complain about that. But yeah, as I said, the level design and lack of story in the game is just what are major problems, but I will come to that later on. The very start of the game, as you see here, you have this starting sequence in your apartment which just serves no purpose really. You do not get any more information about your character in this sequence. You just simply get into your car and drive to work, and as you're driving to work, in Half-Life style, there is this information popping up in your screen, but the information is in French, but luckily I like sort of managed to understand what it said thanks to like a tiny bit of learning of French. But yeah, basically all the information you get about your character is in this sequence. We are told that the character's name is Darren Wilson, man 32 years old, rank Major, works at the military research department, and he manages the relations with Pentagon. And that's all you get to know about your character in the game, because you never get to talk with anyone in the game. Basically everyone's just those few people that are actually alive that you can interact with. They are just simple NPCs who don't really say anything, and you cannot talk with anyone, so basically there's not any story at all after this starting sequence, which is the major problem why the mod gets kind of boring, because you have like no purpose in the game. Like you are not told any objectives except that I guess you want to get out of Black Mesa, but in addition to that there's not really anything. You don't really connect with the character. Anyway, let's talk about the other major issue in the game. Level design. One of the issues with the level design in the mod is that you never really know where you're supposed to go, even though the game is very linear, like there's only one way you can go, but often there's like many doors, for example in one room, but only one of those doors will open and all the doors will look just the same. Too often you will simply find yourself running around like crazy in rooms, pressing E all the time, trying to figure out which one of these similar looking doors will open and get you forward. Another thing that kept bothering me with the levels was that they were often filled with all kinds of items and objects that tended to block my way, and when you combine this mess of objects with plenty of doors in each room, it kinda makes a terrible combination, because you want to explore all these doors, but then this, like, the floor is full of junk that keeps blocking you, and it just makes it an uncomfortable experience. The levels sometimes felt quite repetitive. It was just mostly running and gunning down enemies. And these enemies, by the way, had a tendency to spawn very close to you, so it was like a bit awkward to fight them. You didn't have like time to react often. But yeah, the levels were missing like real puzzles, in my opinion. There wasn't really any real puzzles in the game. It was mostly just you have to find this one lever that opens this door, and then you backtrack and go to this door that's now opened, and then you proceed. There wasn't like any real puzzles, unlike in the original games. Also, there was a lack of platforming action in the game, and a big reason for that, I think, is because the game is missing sprint for some reason, so you can't really jump very far at all. There was like this one sequence where you jump over a ledge, but since you don't have a sprint, it was kind of awkward, because you kind of have to like jump sideways. In addition to these problems with lack of story and level design, there's also these weird game design choices in the game which I find kind of annoying. For example, if you're low on health, your screen will turn almost blood red, and it just makes it hard to see anything, and I really find this feature annoying and pointless. Also, sometimes when you get hit, there's like this bright flash on your screen, which just confuses you. Like, I don't see why it has to be so bright and blocking. Also, one staple feature of Half-Life 1 has always been that you break the crates with melee weapons in order to get items. And in this game you can break some crates, but not all of them. And the crates never dropped any items for me, at least. So it seemed very annoying, because like you can break some of these crates and some of you can't. But when you break some of these crates, they still don't give you anything, and it just feels like, why did they remove that feature? Like, you could have had some of the pickups, like health and ammo pickups in these crates, but they were just like taking space in the maps, basically. Talking about melee weapons, there are 3 different melee weapons in the game: your fists, the crowbar, the classic, and an axe. And it just boggles my mind, like, why do you need 3 different melee weapons in the game? It just makes it more difficult to browse the weapons in the weapons menu. Like, could you just give the crowbar right at the start? I mean, the axe especially, it feels just the same as the crowbar. Like, I couldn't at least figure out any difference. Fists are like weaker than the other melee weapons, but again, it's like, couldn't you just give the crowbar right at the start? I mean, that's what people want anyway, right? Many of the other supposedly new weapons in the game felt a bit pointless as well. For example, the shotgun is exactly the same as in Half-Life 1, but it's just been remodeled. I mean, the functions are the same. And one of the few new weapons in the game, the G36 assault rifle, it basically does the same thing as the M4 assault rifle, just that the G36 doesn't have the grenade launcher. And also the G36, it has its own ammunition supply, so it doesn't share its ammunition with the M4, even though those guns use the same cartridge in real life. And there isn't any new energy-based weapons, at least not yet. Hopefully they will add some, but yeah, so far all the new weapons are like bullet shooting weapons or cartridge-based weapons. Also, several times in the game you come up with this M60 machine gun that's just laying on crates and whatnot, but you cannot pick it up, and it just makes you wonder, like, what's the point then? Like, it's a gaming version of a cocktail. Like you have this big machine gun, but you cannot take it. Why? Why have it then? About the length and difficulty of the game, I would say I played the game for about 2 to 3 hours, and I was playing on normal difficulty, which was a bit of a mistake. I should have put it to hard, because I think I died like once or twice, and it was just like brain farts basically. And when I was getting close to the end, there was a bit of a mood ruining moment, because just before the last battle of the game, there's I guess it's a loading error in the game, and you cannot simply proceed in the game, and you have to go to the console and type a console command in order to get forward. And right after that you get the final battle, and then the game just ends quite abruptly. And well, the developers are saying that they will continue the game, but well, we'll see. But yeah, the ending of the game, well, there was at least one nice battle before the end, but yeah, I think the ending could have been a bit better, like at least not end so anticlimactically. Okay, so far I've been very critical of the mod, but there's a couple of things in it that are good in my opinion. Here and there the mod does manage to capture the feeling and mood of Half-Life. Even if the maps aren't that well designed, there is still, you feel like you're playing a Half-Life game, and it looks like you're playing a Half-Life game. The music in the game is also like good, very fitting for the atmosphere. But yeah, the mod will need some serious work done on it in order to be well, first of all it has to be like playable until the end, like no console commands please. Hopefully the developers will be tweaking some of these features that many people don't like, maybe add some new weapons and improve the textures and models, and well, also continue the game on, because it's well quite short at the moment. I have to admit that occasionally when making this video I did feel a bit bad about myself being so critical of this mod, because you know it's free entertainment, so you shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. It's not like I lost anything except just a bit of time when I was playing this. So should you give this a try? Well, as I said, you will only lose your time since this is free. Well, as long as you own Half-Life 2, but you shouldn't expect very much. Maybe you should just wait for some time that the developers fix at least some of the biggest issues in the game. I mean, there aren't that difficult to fix, I would think, so at least wait until those are done. And maybe in the future this game will get improved and be a bit longer, and there will be some kind of real story to it which will make it a bit more interesting. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you on the next one.